Your weight loss program starts at the digestive system. Just by changing small habit patterns and adding mindful eating, where you can appreciate the taste, the aroma, and the love by your wife or the person who cooks the food for you. You also need to be stress free for better digestion. Because remember, digestion shuts down in stress. Friends, it's not only the asanas. We also need to educate how to improve your eating habit patterns. And that will be yoga off the mat. A sedentary lifestyle, imbalanced diet, and frequent stress are the main enemies of our digestive system. As a result, we may suffer from ailments such as indigestion, gastritis, constipation, flatulence, diarrhea, and colitis. Before sequencing the asanas for the digestive system, you need to really think about your eating habits. When you think about eating, you may think of the work that happens in your stomach and intestines. But the entire digestive process starts in your mouth with chewing. When you chew your food, it gets broken down into smaller pieces which are easier to digest. When mixed with saliva, chewing allows your body to extract the greatest possible amounts of nutrients from the food you eat. The direct positive effect of yoga on the digestive system is that it's like an internal massage of the digestive tract, including the stomach area, intestine, liver, and pancreas. This massage ensures the flow of blood and oxygen and also strengthens the muscles of the internal organs. Let us understand step by step as to where we can help in the digestive system and where our habit patterns as well as yoga can help in our digestive system. Ingestion. Friends, before your students comes and complained about constipation, bloating, diarrhea, heartburn, acid reflux, cramps, headaches, skin problems, malnutrition, indigestion, gas, etc. Everything starts from the mouth. Let's get in detail about the mouth. So the mouth. So the mouth is made up of the teeth, tongue, hard palate, and soft palate. These structures make up the mouth and play an important role in the first step of digestion, that is, ingestion. This is where the teeth and tongue work with salivary glands to break down food into small masses that can be swallowed, preparing them for the journey through the alimentary canal. Mechanical digestion begins when the teeth break down the ingested food. The movement of the jaws enables the teeth to grind the food into small fragments, that is, chewing. The food, also known as mastication. This is the first step in mechanical digestion. Saliva moistens food and begins the process of chemical digestion. Saliva secreted by salivary glands aid the mechanical and chemical process of digestion. Saliva is about 99% water and not only moistens food but cleanses the mouth, dissolves food chemicals so they can be tasted, and contains enzymes that start the chemical breakdown of the starchy foods. There are three pairs of salivary glands: parotoid, sublingual, and submandibular, also known as a submaxillary gland. The tongue creates a bolus, so it can travel down the pharynx and esophagus. The tongue manipulates the chewed food into a small mass called a bolus, then moves it to the oropharynx. The next step are involuntary. The bolus passes through the pharynx. The epiglottis closes off the trachea and directs the bolus down the esophagus. And peristaltic waves move the bolus into the stomach. Friends, now we know that okay, the first is the mouth. But if you can start from here by chewing the food properly, you will not only lose weight, but also proper absorption of nutrients from the food. Experts have a lot to say about chewing. One common piece of advice is to chew your food an estimated 32 times before swallowing. It takes fewer chews to break down soft and water-filled food. It is said by some of the yogis that eat your juices and drink your food. The goal of chewing is to break down your food so it loses texture. Chewing is not only an important part of the digestive process, but it is also beneficial to overall health. People who don't chew their food well enough before they swallow often develop digestive problems and are also at a greater risk for choking, aspiration, malnutrition, dehydration. Experts say that the faster you eat, the more food you will tend to eat. Chewing your food many times at a slower pace can reduce your overall food intake. And now let us talk about the alimentary canal. What is the term means alimentary canal? So the alimentary canal is a single continuous tube that includes the oral cavity, the pharynx, esophagus, stomach, small intestine, large intestine, rectum, and anus. After food is chewed, made into bolus, and swallowed, the action of the epiglottis routes the bolus into the esophagus. From there, peristaltic waves move the foodstuff through the alimentary canal. Friends, in yogic viewpoint, if you ever wish to clean the whole alimentary canal, that is in Shatkriyas we have Shankha Prakshalan. So what does this Shankha Prakshalan does? Shankha Prakshalan washes the entire alimentary tract with water. The alimentary passage are very tortuous and the exit is very narrow, like a conch, that is Shankha. Since this is washed in this Kriya, the ancient sages have given this process an appropriate name, Shankha Prakshalana. Now, after the journey of the mechanical and chemical digestion from the mouth, then it passes through the pharynx. The epiglottis closes off the trachea and directs bolus down the esophagus. Let us now understand the esophagus. Now, the esophagus is the narrowest part of the alimentary canal. The epiglottis directs swallowed foodstuff down the esophagus. The respiratory and digestive systems share structures in the back of the oral cavity that connects with both the trachea of the respiratory system and the esophagus of the digestive system. What prevents this swallowed food from going down the wrong pipe? With each swallow, a structure called the epiglottis closes over the respiratory structures. The swallowed bolus stays on course and is directed towards the esophagus. One peristaltic wave can be enough to move a bolus down the esophagus and into the stomach. Peristalsis is the contraction of muscle tissue that helps move and break down foodstuff. So, what is peristalsis? The wall of the alimentary canal includes layers of smooth muscles controlled by the autonomic nervous system. Alternating contraction and relaxation of these muscles is called peristalsis. Peristalsis waves push the swallowed bolus down the esophagus. Now, after the esophagus, we have the stomach. So, what does the stomach do? Once the food arrives in the stomach, the initial contractions begin. First, they are weak, but within an hour, they increase in intensity, and soon the material in the stomach is churning like clothing in the washing machine. Your stomach not only breaks down food chemically, but it also does so mechanically as well. It undergoes systolic contractions. The muscle wall contracts violently on one side of the stomach, and hunks of food and flunks against the far wall of the stomach, breaking them down into a cauldron of acids and enzymes. That goes on for a couple of hours or more, depending on the quantity and consumption of food ingested. It is important to understand that the secretion of the digestive enzymes anywhere in the upper gastrointestinal tract is largely a function of the vagus nerve, the biggest contributor to the parasympathetic nervous system. In this way, the efficiency of digestion depends on whether a person is in a sympathetic or parasympathetic state. That is, rest and digest or fight and flight. Our stomach is an organ between your esophagus and small intestine. It is where digestion of protein begins. The stomach has three tasks. It stores swallowed food, it mixes the food with stomach acids, then it sends the mixture on to the small intestines. Most people have a problem with their stomach at one time or another. Indigestion and heartburn are common problems. In the stomach, peristalsis churns swallowed food, mixing it with gastric juices. These mechanical and chemical actions further break down food into substance called chyme. It takes about a minute to chew a piece of food into a bolus and a few seconds to swallow it. Once in the stomach, foodstuff takes a few hours to become chyme. In the yogic point of view, practicing Shatkriyas, especially Vamandhoti, Vastradhoti or Dandadhoti, will help you to clean your stomach if you have any stomach ailments. Vamandhoti is recommended for patients suffering from indigestion, asthma, diabetes, constipation, or chronic cold. It cleans the upper portion of the gastrointestinal tract by removing excessive mucosal secretions and bile from the system. Friends, we also have the accessory organs that help the stomach and small intestine to digest the food, such as liver, pancreas, gallbladder. So in the next part of our digestive system, that is part 2, we will try to understand also with the yogic perspective too. But friends, as I told you earlier, stress has a major role to play in digestion. Calming down will help your digestive system. If we fall into the sympathetic, that is the fight or flight mode, the blood will get pulled away from the stomach and into the large skeletal muscle so that you can fight or run away. Digestion is quickly shut down during stress. Your stomach grinds to a halt. Contractions stop. Enzymes and digestive acids are no longer secreted. This also happens when you exercise after dinner or lunch. Studies show that exercise shifts blood flow away from the gastrointestinal tract towards the active muscles and the lungs. That is why it is better to have a lighter meal and then wait at least an hour or two afterwards before beginning a yoga practice or any other exercise. One thing that is beneficial after a meal is a brisk walk. Research confirms that a post meal walk as short as 15 minutes can, in fact, help with digestion and improve blood sugar levels. Okay, so that's it for today. In the next chapter, we will talk about the accessory organs and how they help us in the digestive, the chemical digestive process. See you soon. Take care. Keep smiling. Namaste.